you know, we go to Herb a lot, don't we? We find ourselves getting dug in a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. And what do? We say, Herb, we need you to analyze this. Herb, we need you to take a look at this. And Herb writes the best epistles I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's great. It's outline form, the words are spelled right, the grammar's right, everything. Herb's the man to go to. If you've got a problem to analyze, that's the source. Herb is the man that can make the most out of anything that comes about. He's going to put everything to good use. And I think Herb has an example of that for you tonight, Calvin. Herb?
First of all, I want to add my sincere appreciation for your friendship and all the help you've given me and good times.
Thank you.
On the 6P project, we've gone through all sorts of design iterations, but today at 12 o'clock it was finalized, and we perfected the product. It's ready for release. And here it is. And it does work.
You know, you might have noticed tonight after he ate that Calvin was smoking. You know, he tried to quit. And he tells us, Joyce, that he doesn't smoke at home, only at work. That he decided he didn't like the way it smelled at the house. Now, we won't put you on the spot right now to tell us whether or not that's true, but you know, Russ Bemis has quit smoking, and I'm sure Russ can identify with what Calvin goes through. You know, one day we were at the break table talking, and they were discussing smoking. You know, it seems like anytime you get together around the break table, you just bring up things that are important to you at the time. Russ and Cal were both sitting there with a bunch of us non-smokers talking about smoking and all. And Russ looked over at Cal and he says, Cal, do you smoke after sex? And Cal says, I don't know, I never looked.
Work, and then we started talking about women. I found out he was married, and we quit talking about women. But Calvin and I have been around for a while. I'm glad you're retiring instead of me, because I wouldn't know what to do with the extra time. I got it all figured out. If I spent that much time in my garage, I wouldn't have anything left. We used to get together after some of these meetings. Tom would have some meetings that were really fantastic. You know, we'd get together and say, what'd he say? One time the deal was that the engineers were supposed to be more visible, you know, more visible. So we talked about that, trying to figure out what he meant. And it turned out also that they were supposed to be out on the floor and be visible and helping solve the problem, you know, and all that kind of visible. That was a little deal about getting to work on time, too. Well, Calvin had a problem like that. Now, Bob Ward, he can be anywhere and you can see where he is. He stands around all over the place, you know. But Calvin is telling her, so I'm going down to the E50 to do some work. She'd send somebody down there looking. Hell, he wasn't down there. It turned out he was bent over working, you know, and he couldn't see. We had talking about that was the problem, you know, being short, you know, and not being that visible. He comes up with some good ideas. Like the way he got rid of this problem coming in late, actually he wasn't really late. He walked in behind Dale Watson. And Dale, you know, and they never saw him come in. It didn't count it. But he had it all figured out. He got this hat, and he bought a lot of hats too. I know about that. He He wears a hat when he comes in so people will notice him. And when he leaves early, he doesn't take his hat. Got all these damn hats on there. Eating your breath or you flatten them out. We can figure out how to straighten those out. We get a lot of your hats back. But, well, there was some kind of a combination deal. I think Clyde Freeman and Robert Gilliam sort of got together at a break, and you happened in about the time they were figuring something out about E50. The deal was they're trying to get the productivity up. And it turns out that Freeman had written, it's too bad he isn't here because I like to see his face when he knows it. I read this Russian article about how to get productivity up. And it turns out the lower the person works to the floor, the closer to the floor he works, the more the productivity is, the higher the productivity. And you just happened in about that time. You had some kind of a problem because all the equipment was so high they couldn't see you. Well, Gilliam was looking for a cost reduction. He'd need $50,000, to go over his goal. And they combined it all and decided that they would lower all the stations out there, their workstations, by 6 inches, including the tables and everything, and raise the chairs by 6 inches so that people would, be bent over, they'd be working real hard, and they could see Calvin when he come in. Well, that was working out pretty good, but they had to have somebody else. Now, Gibson come in about that time, and he just... He said the short people are going to run this damn place. How about Gilbert got in there? You want to know that answer? He lied about his height. Didn't catch it for 2 weeks. Anyhow, Gibson was trying to get rid of the tall people. And those big guys, when they bend over like this, they get a backache, so they have to quit after a week or two. Pretty soon they're just short people back there, working real close to the floor. Everybody can see Calvin. There was some more stuff too, Calvin. I've enjoyed it. I'm glad I forgot about the rest of it.
We're constantly looking at new products and looking at our competitors to see what they're doing because we've got to stay abreast of the market and know what's out in the marketplace these days. And Cleve Reese, as one of our product engineers, prime responsibility is to make the best use of what we have available and know what the competition has available and put it to good use. So, Cleve, I think you have a little something for Cal that demonstrates that.
Well, Calvin, we know that the last year or so, everyone's been really pushed to get things out, and so we got something together, the last few tools you put together. We think you got confused what we really wanted. We were actually looking for a wrench, and we like to do this, remember us by, and we put a few of the parts in there off of the illuminated operator and the E34 portion. You can hang those around your neck and you'll really look like a tourist now.
Well, even though he's only been the boss for a very short time, it just wouldn't be fair tonight to let the time go by without giving Cal's boss an opportunity to share with us a few things that have occurred in this short span of time since he's been assigned to K-24. So, Mr. Shannon, please.
Well, I had some things I wanted to say, but since he started out here to give a little history on Calvin and the man he started to work for, and since I ain't got the license, all I can say, Cal, is I appreciate it.
Cal, the thing nowadays is to have all kinds of pretty things around your homes and nice smells and nice scents and things that look good, around the home. And so we thought, well, the night would not be complete if we didn't give you something that Joyce could enjoy along with you. And yet at the same time, it would remind you of the plant and what your life has been like for these 16 years and stuff. We fixed you a little bag of molding potpourri for you to take home and display somewhere, very adequately. And if you want to really have an excellent smell in your house, just open that up, Joyce. You'll smell that joy. You know, we've had a lot of fun, and there's just so many things that you can't go into all of them. You just got to hit the high spots, because I know Carolina's on the scoop tonight, and a lot of us have to get home for that and all. But Calvin's really been looking forward to retirement. Calvin and I have a habit of meeting in the parking lot every morning, Joyce. It's not that it's anything out of the way. It's just we have to be on the same time schedule, you know. And I told him the other day I was really going to miss our little rendezvous in the parking lot every morning on our way in and speaking. And I said, Calvin, you're really looking forward to retirement, aren't you? And Calvin kind of paused there on the parking lot a moment, and he kind of raised his hand up to his chin, and he says, yeah, he says, you know, retirement's kind of like sex. Even before you get around to trying it, you know you're going to like it. You know he's going to like it. And Calvin, on behalf of all of us, we can't say enough about how much we've enjoyed working with you, and we want to hear from you now. You tell us a little bit about your plans for retirement, okay?
Well, I intend to make good use of this.
Stand up, Calvin.
If I don't, I can't come home. I have really enjoyed working at Cutler Hammer, and time has given me opportunities to get into a lot of different areas, a lot of challenge, a lot of fun. But most of all, I've enjoyed the people. It's the greatest bunch of people I've ever met anywhere. And I'm going to miss all of you terribly bad. And I start missing you enough, well, you're going to see my face around, because I'll have to come back and see you.
You forgot to sign out yesterday.
Calvin Rock has a little something he'd like to give you on behalf of all of us at the plant, to wish you the very best, and hope that you can enjoy it and put it to good use.
I'm going to head for Jekyll Island tomorrow.
And you need the other piece that goes with it.
Gee whiz. Gosh. Thank you so much.
You enjoy it. In closing tonight, folks, I want everybody to lift their glass and a toast to Calvin. And I'm going to steal a toast, because I'm not much of a toaster. But there's an Irish blessing that I think is very appropriate for the occasion, Calvin, and I think this will say it for all of us. And it goes, may the road rise to meet you, may the wind blow at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, may the rain fall soft upon your field, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. To Calvin.
All the best.
All right. Well, you enjoy. We want to see the fish too, don't we? Thank you all for being here.
Thank everyone.
That is big.
Holding the meeting. You have an appreciation of all that. First? I just want to make sure you got this.
Thank you, Lord. Calvin.
Looks well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, won't be long. Alex?
I got one.
Yeah, you said he was coming back part-time. That's what I talked to Mr. Walker.
We're seeing it.
You ready? Come on. Give me a line.
We'll talk to you later.
You take it where you're going to do.
Calvin, it didn't dawn on me. See you tomorrow.
I couldn't say all the night. You started out with it.
I wish I thought that.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that.
Yeah, well. Yes.
Oh, that's what I need.
You get a laugh.
We'll let you keep
Please make a mark print out of that.
Were you really the one who was out in the bathroom?
Never thought about that, Dave. Maybe it's all for you.
What's up with the most creative?
Hey, it's sure good to see you.
You little stunner?
Hey,
Well, Terry, you should have come on.
and I'm gonna call you.
Well, it don't matter.
I got the camera on, and everybody wants to just have this one film.
Hey, Terry.
You smeared your lips there, Bob.
Hey, Jeanette. Why did you let him get out of here with not signing out?
I put it in 2 weeks ahead of time, boss man. You said you wanted 24 hours.
At home, he was practicing, he was in there in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Now, what was gonna get that? She said,
It's gonna go like this.
He said 90. Man, you have. That's all I have. How much job?
I got so scary.
Let's all go home.
Everybody got it. Hey, Bob, you know the line I told you I was worried about messing up? Did you figure out which one it was?
No.
The biggest one. Get your-
That was good. That was good.
I told her this morning, I said, you've got to say something about Dick and his brother Richard. Because Calvin just loved him so much.
I won't be able to grasp it.
Mr. McCall, turn around and wave bye to us, buddy.
That's your lawyer, he's all right. Quit petting him